Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports, and some very interesting news out of South Africa this morning with the Springbok Lions Series title potentially at risk as a result of the charges being brought to Rassie Erasmus by World Rugby for the 62-minute video he released about the officiating. We're going to go through it in a bit and sort of look at exactly what is happening, what the situation is, and why this series could potentially be taken away from the Springboks, which would be a massive moment in World Rugby history, and a very, very complicated situation currently, which we'll have clarity over the next sort of few weeks as the entire thing plays out. But a very sort of quite a crucial and a watershed moment that we keep sort of saying in terms of World Rugby versus Rassie Erasmus versus sort of the broader issues that Rassie Erasmus has actually identified in releasing that video. So it's quite a complicated situation. Before we look at it in a bit more detail, please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. As usual, our show is sponsored by Manscaped, the #1 in men's below the waist grooming. Go and check them out. You can join over 2 million men who trust Manscaped. They've got the perfect tools for your family jewels. They have recently launched in South Africa with their latest trademark product, the Lawnmower 4.0, which is the latest in trimming technology featuring wireless charging, a travel lock, waterproof, as well as the revolutionary skin-safe technology, so you can make sure that you are keeping everything safe whilst trimming the most sensitive of areas. So please do go check out manscaped.com. Use Forever to get 20% off as well as free shipping. Now, the report has come out in a report, which is a South African cards publication. They're quite clued up about SA Rugby, often get lots of leaks right in terms of player moves and stuff like that. And basically, so Rassie Erasmus is not currently with the Springboks. He decided not to travel and he's spending time with his family and preparing for the legal battle with World Rugby that is about to sort of unfold. So in terms of what some of the issues are, so World Rugby were going to be charging him for breaching sort of misconduct, basically, and saying, you know, that he cannot be releasing such videos, he cannot be putting sort of questioning officials, and in many ways questioning World Rugby using such a public forum. So the possible implications, we talked about the fact that a suspension could be quite likely in terms of suspending Rassie Erasmus from being at stadiums where the Springboks play. So you can't really, I mean, from what I understand, I don't think they can prevent him from being part of the squad and traveling with the squad and stuff like that. But they can issue a stadium ban, which would mean that he cannot be at the ground. He cannot be running water, which is why we didn't see him running water yesterday. But the sort of level of punishments are quite varying. And according to a report, they're saying that one of the punishments, if it really were to go sort of that far, is that they could actually cancel the result of the second test. Because that was sort of the one that came just after. You know, they could, I mean, if they want to try and sort of imply that, I mean, I imagine my sort of interpretation is that they would then sort of apply that video had an effect on the result, and as a result, they cancelled that game. And if they cancel the game, it means the Boks will not have won the Lions series because it will be tied 1-1. There is also apparently enough sort of regulations in place, according to World Rugby, that they could even overturn the result. And if they overturn the result, that would actually hand the British and Irish Lions the victory in the second test, as well as then the series victory. Other sanctions could be SA Rugby being punished, you know, with a big fine, which I think is probably more likely. I think that we could see probably a fine and a stadium ban being the most likely sort of punishments. I think, you know, if they were to go, and this is the problem with World Rugby, because actually you almost don't want to rule it out, but if they were to try and cancel that second test, it would make an absolute farce of the governing body, in my opinion. I think that to try and, I mean, we've had the games. I don't think there were that many issues with the second test in terms of refereeing. I don't think there were that many issues with the third test. In fact, I thought the third test was superbly refereed. Especially given sort of what happened. I think there were probably some unnecessarily long TMO checks from Marius Jonker, but in general, I thought given the situation, they handled it pretty well. At the end of the day, the games have happened. The results have happened. We've had the celebrations. We've had the disappointment. The British and Irish Lions left knowing that they got beaten by the Springboks. If you then retrospectively reward them the series, they will not have thought that they have won. and you can chalk it off in the record books, but at the end of the day, the results are still there. We still watch the games. We still know exactly who won those games. So, I'd be very surprised if World Rugby were to go sort of that far. And I think if they do, it makes a mockery of World Rugby. It makes a mockery of just rugby in general, to be honest, the entire series. So I think that would they cannot go that sort of route, in my opinion. I don't see how they can sort of even think about trying to cancel a result and overturn a series victory, because it would just make such a mockery of everything that we sort of enjoy about rugby. And I think that they'll probably be quite aware about that. So I don't think it'll go that far, but that is the potential sort of the maximum sanction that World Rugby could really do if they really wanted to come down hard. They haven't really talked about the fact that they want to relook at the regulations which govern the punishment of coaches so they can be more better equipped, rather, to deal with these situations in terms of being able to add on harsher punishments or get processes done more quickly and stuff like that. Give themselves more power, basically, to punish poachers, which is a bit of a sort of murky water and dangerous waters, really, to be going into, where if you can't question authority, how can we expect this game to grow? I don't think we have a lot of trust in World Rugby as rugby fans. I think we know that they're an organisation which have been quite stagnant and quite slow to react over the last 20 years. I mean, we've been playing catch up with other sporting brands for a long, long time. And we haven't really seen enough growth within the rugby environment in terms of more teams coming into the fold, in terms of the way that rugby is spreading as a global game. So they're under a lot of pressure anyway. So if they were to start going down this route, it becomes a very, very tricky way to get back. And as I said, I think this is a massive moment for World Rugby, where the easy road for them to go is just to say, you know what, we'll just slap a monetary fine. It will cause a lot more controversy if they also issue a stadium ban. But if they are to go and try and cancel a test series victory, we could be facing, revolts against World Rugby. I mean, SA Rugby could then turn around and say, you know what? Because SA Rugby is considered to be one of the, if not the most valuable rugby brand in the world, current world champions. And imagine they go and say, you know what? We actually won't be part of you. And it could be a breakaway. And maybe other sort of teams go, you know what? Commercially, it actually could almost make sense for us to go with the Springboks and stuff like that. Do we want to be the last one sitting at the table with World Rugby? So it's quite an interesting moment. I don't think we'll sort of get to those sort of extremes. I'll be very surprised if we go that far down. But that is what could potentially, sort of at the worst case scenarios, could be those sort of situations. In terms of legal representation, apparently SA Rugby and Rassie Erasmus are going to be represented separately, basically. So Rassie Erasmus is going to be working with his lawyer, Frikkie Erasmus. Always makes me laugh. And then apparently the SA Rugby are mounting sort of their own preparation for it with their own legal team. So we'll wait and see how it sort of unfolds over the next couple of weeks. We'll obviously keep you updated as soon as we know more. That could be the potential situation. So we wait with bated breath as to what will finally happen to Rassie Erasmus from World Rugby and where World Rugby will make their stand. Please smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Check out manscaped.com. You can get 20% off as well as free shipping anywhere in the world with the code FOREVER. Check out the link in the description. Go and get involved. They support them because they support the channel, and then we can bring you better content. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you guys very soon.